Everyone, welcome to the show. I have a bunch of polling data to share with you all. Donald Trump is pulling a taco. He is backtracking on his threats against Iran. One reason could be these negative polls. I mean, they are overwhelmingly negative, and they show that Americans do not want the U.S. to get involved. So I have those polls to share. I also have polling about Trump's approval rating on his big but ugly bill. But before I get into the stats and all the details, please do me a big favor, hit the subscribe button below. It really helps the show. Greatly appreciate it. So first up is the Economist YouGov poll. When they asked people if the country is headed in the right direction, this is hashtag sad in all caps. Only 33% of Americans said yes. So that means a great deal of Trump supporters, a great deal of Republicans are in that camp. Or in the opposite camp, I should say, because 55% said, no, we're on the wrong track. And then 11% are just apparently sheep because they said, I'm not sure. I don't know if things are getting better or worse. Really? Really? And then check this out. Even 19% of Donald Trump voters said that we are headed in the wrong direction. That's according to the crosstabs. So that's huge. BIGLY, you might say. So there were similar responses to the Republican budget bill. Only 35% of respondents approve of this bill, 51% disapprove. And Trump's favorability rating is 43%. His unfavorable rating is 54%. And even 14% of Donald Trump 2024 voters give him an unfavorable rating. So that's pretty massive. 14% of his own voters said, yeah, not really digging the guy. And it was a bit worse for Trump, I should say, when they asked about his job performance. So only 41% approve of the job he's doing, 54% disapprove. And again, 13% of Trump's voters, people who just voted for him less than a year ago, they disapprove of how he's doing his job. And check out the crosstabs. So 76% of Black voters, 60% of Hispanic voters, and 66% of voters under or 29 and under all disapprove. 66% of young voters and 76% of Black voters. I mean, just huge. And then he received almost identical ratings when they asked about his handling of the economy and the job market. Again, I mean, I know it sounds like a broken record, but this was his best issue. This is why people said they were voting for him. And the numbers were even more brutal when YouGov asked about his handling of inflation and prices. So check this out. Only 35% approve, 58% disapprove of his handling of inflation and jobs. And 20% of his own voters disapprove on that category. I mean, it's crazy. 2 out of 10 people who voted for Donald Trump just in November of last year already disapprove. You know, and again, primarily for economic reasons. That's what they said. Oh, I'm voting for him on the economy because, you know, Biden's economy is horrible. And now 20% disapprove of the way he's doing things. In fact, a plurality, 48%, said the economy is getting worse. Only 23% said that they think it's getting better. And even 13% of Trump voters say it's getting worse. And check out this next one. These are his numbers on immigration. 44% approve, which is still way too high, but 52% disapprove. So again, that was another one of his main issues, the economy and immigration. Those were his two pillars, the things he did the best on. And that disapproval rating, again, includes 13% of his own voters. And the numbers were basically the same when the pollsters asked about deportation specifically. They also asked about the Iran and Israel conflict. 60% of respondents said the U.S. should not get involved. And that included a majority, 53% of respondents, who voted for him last year. And when they asked about the recent protests against ICE and against the government in general, the vast majority agreed that peaceful protests are okay. They're totally legal. Also, there was a plurality who disapprove of how Trump is handling the LA protests. And the Washington Post also did a poll recently. They polled 1,000 people and they asked about the war between Iran and Israel. Only 25% support U.S. involvement. 45% oppose the U.S. taking part in the conflict. Now, there is a distinction because unfortunately, the majority of people are falling for the propaganda. They're believing that, Iran is any day they're going to have a nuclear weapon. I mean, we've been hearing this now for 30 years or more. Unfortunately, a lot of people, especially people who watch cable news, are falling for this BS propaganda. So they think, we don't want them to have nukes. And as long as it's being framed that way, people are against it. If you ask people, are you okay with Iran having nuclear weapons? They go, no, of course not. But do they want boots on the ground and people, from our country, Americans, getting physically involved in the war? No. Oh, by a huge margin. No, they are not okay with that. The Washington Post also did a separate poll. They asked people about Trump and the Republicans' big, beautiful, but ugly bill. And they found that a plurality opposed the bill, 42%. Only 23% of people support it. And then 34% said, I don't have any opinion. Apparently they want to just stick their head in the sand, and then complain about the consequences later on. And this chart says it all. The vast majority of Americans are opposed to tax cuts for the wealthy, and they are opposed to taking away benefits from low-income households. But check this out. So they separated this out. They broke it down based on party. The overwhelming majority of Republican voters polled, they like the idea of stealing from the poor and giving to the rich. I mean, just there you go. This is why we're in the position we're in. Yet these are the same people who claim that the Republican Party is fighting for average Americans. That's why we're voting for them, because they fight for average Americans. And, Democrats are working on behalf of the elites. But then those same voters are the ones who want to take from the poor and give it to the rich. They're the biggest freaking hypocrites. Either that or they're just completely ignorant. Or they just, they believe in this whole nonsense about trickle-down economics. I mean, really? How long have we been hearing that bullshit? I mean, since Reagan, we've heard that bullshit, and it has never, ever happened. They do stock buybacks. They give massive bonuses to their CEOs. I mean, the only thing that trickles down is them pissing on you. So anyway, guys, it's my rant for the day. Maybe I might have another one in me later. Anyway, I will let you know if I hear any more, or when I hear more. There will be more polling, but thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you possibly can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.